Gonna make her stick this time.
See what you got. You want to change the train code? Back up? Yeah. Whoa. Want me to come over with it? Hey, Pete,
Push the car forward. No. Train looks like it's gotta come this way. And it's gotta go up a little bit.
Maybe what I need to do is get right under the middle of it. Let it down, Joe.
Oh, I see what's going on here. I see what's going on.
It's also, let it down and let's put it right in the middle of the transmission.
Well,
Okay, push it forward. A little more. Is it going to do it? No.
it acts like it's gotta go on that side, because it's hitting against the floorboard on this side, Brett. That's what's going on.
Let me get the other jack.
There she goes.
Okay, yeah, that's looking good.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe let down a little bit. Especially when you're an old man.
Or a young man. I don't know what one of those are like though.
Okay, now we got that thing in there. Now we got to put a strap across the front, hold it up. Okay. HEMI and a front engine dragster. I've always wanted one. I got one. Huh? I got 2 4s for it coming Saturday, and what else? I'm gonna run a mag in it. I got all the stuff coming for it, and then we're gonna put zoomies on it. We're gonna build. So we're getting close. Good enough. Good enough.
Good enough for crackers and roll-ups.
Okay.
Going on, hooker?
Yep.
Hi.
See what it does.
Cut me some slack. You're up, boss.
What a deal.
Well, girl's officially got a HEMI in her now.
we're okay.
Yeah. Set of zoomies, some decent induction. Get the water pump back on it, hook up some hoses.
You know what I'm gonna have to do?
Who's that?
Is build something to go from here to there and from there. No, this goes to the water pump, disregard. What is this gonna have to do?
This has got to go to where our return hose was.
Okay,
On-
this is it. So we gotta
Oh, yeah.
build something to go from here to here,
Yeah,
or have another blind welded in.
right. One or the other, yeah.
Okay. You like that, Emil?
I love it.
But what we could do is take this off and just put a plate here with a fitting on each side and run the separate
Yeah.
hoses down again.
Right.
You know, take the manifold right off from it. Because that's all it did is relief from both heads for the water.
Yeah, that'll work.
That would work. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the water pump with the bottom, back to the bottom hose. That's all lovely.
And then this, where's this?
Yeah, that's the next project right there.
This blade ain't gonna work. We're gonna have to build something else, Joe.
Too big, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have to go to the motor mount like we talked. We could, wonder if you think this would hold it
We weld a tab on it or something.
onto the top?
Yeah.
You know, put the motor plate up there, the,
No, yeah.
yeah, and just,
Set it high like that on both sides, I'm sure, so,
okay,
yeah, we can build something up there.
we're almost there. What a deal. We took a stinking Chevrolet motor out of it
Oh, be nice now.
and put a very nice HEMI motor in it, I think.
You know, I don't have to post this one. Talk about a Chevy like that.
Fred, you gotta be careful, we got too many Chevys listening. Don't mess with the
That's a
natives.
pretty motor, though. I'll give you that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this thing with the zoomies on it, man, she's gonna be out here as wide as her tires. Yeah, it's gonna look bad.
All right, we're putting a magneto in this HEMI that's going into Dragster. And this is a Chevrolet Magneto. And we had to buy an adapter right here. It's about 4 inches long that you put in the block. And then you get a shaft. Chrysler has a shaft that runs it called an intermediary shaft. You have to get it and put it in, and it makes up the difference where you can run the Chevy mag, and you don't have to buy a new mag. So that's kind of a neat deal, but we're getting closer every day on this thing, and hopefully in a week or so we'll crank it. Here's a, this is the Mopar distributor, and the intermediary shaft sits down here, and this is like a screwdriver, but it slides down in it, and it turns the distributor. And you can see this would go even further down than this. Well, that's how much that adapter raised it up. So, pretty simple deal, but somebody had to think of it the first time. So, that's what we're doing now.
What about the cooling system up front?
Oh, the cooling system, yeah. Again, these old Hemis are so hard to get stuff for. So what we did, Welt made an adapter up here on the front of the head. A lot of the old Hemis don't even have water coolant going in here. But I made this adapter, then I put these pieces in, and I ran it down here to the this 4.5 gallon water tank that I got for when I start running it. And that'll do the water. And then on the other side is the outlet, because this is a big block Chevrolet water pump on here. So it's got the same outlet. It'll run in there, come out here, run back in, back out. So that's our front end on this. And we're going to run 2 4s on it to start with. If anybody's got 6 2s, I need them. That's what I'd like to put on it. This is just a mock-up now, and we're gonna crank it on the single 4-barrel, get it running right, get it tuned up, then put the 2 4s on it. So that's where we're at. Okay. Another problem we ran into, this thing originally had a Chevrolet small block in it. Well, it's narrower and all that. Well, when I put the HEMI in, everything dropped right in, but the starter. So what I had to do was go in and cut the frame where the starter would fit. And the frame is about half the thickness of what it was. So I went in and I nailed this welded this 1/4 inch piece of metal in. Then I took a piece of pipe and cut it in half, and I wrapped it around and welded it underneath. Then I welded it up here, ground it off, and then I stitch welded it in here. That way, if it breaks, it'll break any place else except in here. So that was a kind of a little bit of a challenge. Then the other problem we had was, this is where the oil filter went. Well, it wouldn't take a conventional oil filter, so we had to get the adapter bolted on, and then this is the oil line hoses, and I'm going to put the remote oil filter up here. It should be in Friday or Saturday, so that'll be one step closer, and that's about all that's holding us up right now. Then we should be able to crank it, because I got the gas line plumbed in. I got to get an electric fuel pump, toggle switch, and some wire to use it. And back here, we also built, we had in this thing a gas pedal that sat on the floor, and I used it. Well, we engineered this piece. This holds the gas pedal up, and it's like a low-car gas pedal. But we built this, it hooks in here and pulls the throttle cable up and down when it goes up and down. But little engineering, it's just a square, 1-inch square tubing with a piece of flat plate on the bottom, welded to the floor. Then this welded on the side, the fitting right here that it pivots on. So that's some of the Dover engineering. But it's a lot. All right, this is, we're still working on the HEMI, the front engine dragster. Had a couple guys come over, Jim and Dan, excellent exhaust people. I can't say enough good about them, but they bent the tubes and built these zoomy headers for it, and loved the way they worked them. And the only problem, we had 2 problems. One is we're going to have to extend a pitman arm back here because it doesn't quite fit, which ain't no big deal. Then the other problem, I didn't know this, and they got in here, Dan, excellent welder. This piece right here, I bought the flange with the short tubes on it, was stainless, and here is an exhaust pipe. And he had a rough time welding it, but it turned out excellent. It's much better than anything that I welded. They put the bar on the back side to keep them from shaking and vibrating. So all I got to do now is clean them up and either paint them or have them ceramic coated, and it'll be done. I'm very happy. Okay, this is the way we built this in to plug in. This plugs in. You bring the battery here. You have it hooked up, you plug it in, you can start the car. This is an auxiliary way to do it. This is the way we're going to do it, because used to we didn't have an electric fuel pump or anything on it. Now I need a battery on the car, so what we're going to do is keep this, but I've run a wire from the starter up to here, and we're going to put a small battery right here in the car where that you have enough, hopefully enough juice to crank it, but enough juice to run the fuel pump where it'll run the whole time that we're racing.